see. Oh. Oh, we're live. Oh, excuse me. Right, I've just come back in from a bike ride, and I thought, oh, I'm all gunked up and everything. And I thought I'm going to get on live now, on YouTube now. What's going off there? Oh, right. This is this new YouTube thing. And it seemed to reset the counter for a second there. I think I'm still live. Right. I'm saying excuse me for the blotchy, red, sweaty head, face, because I've just come back in from a bike ride. And I need to talk about this. Excuse me. I'm embarrassed, like, because of my state, but if you can put up with that, you know. Right. Let me sit back. Let me get comfortable. I've got the fan on as well to cool myself down to stop myself looking like a blimp. Right. Let me speak. Let me put it like that. I'm looking at the screen. I should be looking at that, shouldn't I? Right. So, hi. Yeah, you've probably come to this because of the title. What have I called it? Yeah, I basically beat depression. I've got to talk about it. But first of all, one of the things about depression, as everybody will know, is that the moment you say you've got something that helps with depression, I'm trying to figure out if I can put this down somewhere. Everybody will say their depression is different. Their depression is, how can I? Oh, I look awful. They'll say their depression is different. It won't work for them. And I'm here to say you might be right. On the other hand, of the other thing that I'm going to talk about, the thing that happened to me, is that us people who have got depression, who suffer from depression, we really can't. Beggars can't be choosers. If you've got depression, you'll know how if somebody says to you, look, do this, do that, you'll try it, won't you? Because I mean, it feels like you're on fire with, not fire, horrible way of putting it, but it feels like you're in the worst emotional pain of your life. You know, probably 99% of people know what depression feels like in some way, and there's the odd person who luckily for them, is always on a high. And it's probably right. I'm getting off the track here. Right. Let me explain something about my depression. When it comes, it hangs around like a virus. You could probably relate to that. It hangs around. It's a physical thing inside my torso, my stomach, down there. Yeah. As you know, anybody who's felt this, but I'm trying to relate. And I was going through this. It snowed. I'm in the UK. It snowed badly. It snowed heavy. And let me turn this fan on myself and cool down. I've just done 7 miles in an attempt to lose my weight because I'm going through an up. You know, and it's not manic. And I don't want to get off the subject here. I don't want to jump ahead of myself because I'll get confused myself. Basically, you'll all know that the depression is like a monster inside, and it's twisting knots. Even if you forget about the depression or you have a nap, you wake up and it's there. I'm having a memory of that feeling now, but I haven't got it inside me. I'm remembering what it was like. And I've got rid of it. I made it. I never waited for it to go. I never said to myself, it will pass. I mean, I did say that, but I mean, that never happened. It never passed on its own. It wasn't it was in control, but I did something that lifted it. I was panicking like I always do when it gets really bad. I'll try and explain so that I can help other people, because if you're in that situation now, you'll know yourself. Where's my cat? You'll know yourself. Sorry about this with the camera. I'm not an expert with this. I'm not got it all set up right. I'm just doing it quick. Get this video done because it's important. If anybody doesn't know me, I lost my soulmate 2 years ago, and for me, I suppose you could say I've got this mental illness. For me, losing Cassie, this is my opinion, losing Cassie was worse than people who haven't got depression, because the depression kicked in straight away, obviously. I was in shock as well with the grief. I was on my own. We just moved. Oh, it's okay. Just checking what the cat's doing. So she's getting up to no good. We just moved to this area where I am now. I'm still in the same area we moved to. This was our dream place where we moved to. I've got nobody here. Neither had she. But we had each other. And Cassie is everything to me still. But she passed away 3 months in. And I have no family. Well, I do. I mean, I've got a son, obviously. But what I mean is I have no family nearby. My son lives down about 100 miles away, down the south from me. And I love him to bits, you know. He's my life. But what I'm trying to get at is I never had anybody physically here with me. Day in, day out, after losing Cassie, I was on my own after the funeral, of course. And if my son watches this, I've got to clear this now. My son was with me for a good time after the funeral. But what I'm saying is when he went home, because he's got his own life, I was on my own. That's when the grief started. And so let me try and jump ahead here. So, yeah, the depression kicked in. I had the grief. My granddad was always he tried to commit suicide. My mum tried to commit suicide, so it's in the family. It crossed my mind, obviously. I was thinking about it. It was a way out. That was what I thought, if this gets too bad for me. So now, before I come to this point, the next point of what got me through, this worked for me. It may not work for everybody else. So don't turn off this the moment you hear what I'm going to say. I turned to God. I didn't know. I was the same as your average atheist. I didn't really know what that meant, but I was crying out for help. You know, obviously I was, I was grieving, and I said, "Please." Basically, I didn't say this wasn't the words, but this is more or less what I said. If you are there for me, if you are there, please help me, because I need your help. And the alternative was this looming feeling of committing suicide was there, you know. So I basically I asked for help, and the strangest things happened. I've got another video on this in depth. Strangest things happened. The moment I asked for help, I got a phone call, and I never got a phone call round about that time, except for this one phone call I got. It was off my son, and he was crying. He was upset. He just nearly lost his dog. So I thought, oh, look, stop thinking of yourself. Help your son. So I was there for him, getting through this period where he didn't know whether his dog had been killed. Luckily, she hasn't. She's still with us. I think it's a she, until Liam. I'm not sure. I don't know if he's watching. But the next, oh, Liam's there. Liam's watching it, son. So yeah, so Mimi, what's the dog's name again? Milchie. What am I thinking? So right, I feel all put on the spot now because you're watching. But basically, right, I'm going to get back to the point. So my son was there for me, but he'd gone back home. Simone, his girlfriend, was there for me. She'd gone back home. There was nobody here. We'd moved to this area and there was nobody physically here. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any friends. My mum never spoke to me. And I didn't want to ring her because I knew I've got one of them funny relationships with my mum where she would make me feel bad, even though I'd tell her, look, mum, I've just lost Cassie. She'd probably go, you know, what does that mean? So I thought, no, I can't put up with that. She never did that, though. Credit to her. She never did that when I eventually did talk to her. But that's what I was expecting. And if she'd have done that, that would have been one of the last things I would have, you know. So basically, I'm going to cut past all that point there. I asked God for help. Liam rang. The moment I asked for help, Liam rang. I'm not kidding. Call it a miracle if you want. He rang me. I had to help Liam. That got me out through that situation there. But it was still waiting for me when Liam was saying, Mimsy, I forgot the name of the dog, and I can't see, I can just see his name popping up every so often. YouTube's put boxes all over the place. What good's that when you're trying to talk to people? Right, so the depression had set in. This is going back when I lost Cassie. The depression had set in. Liam ringing up and not asking for help. Liam ringing up and telling me about his dog had, you know, been run over. That was a distraction for me. That was like, help your son. He needs help. Forget yourself. But that was a distraction. At some point, Liam was not going to be on the phone. So I knew it was going to be waiting for me, this feeling of utter, you know, despair, grief, all that. And it was. Nothing had changed. So I knew something had happened, though. And basically, I carried on saying, help me then, you know, to God, help me. You must help me, or I know how my feelings, I'm on the edge. And I'd even researched things. That's a no-no. You don't do that, do you? So basically, I better clear this for my son because he's probably trying to me and I don't even know. What's this? I can't read my faces. So, can I get rid of that? Turn on what? Hold potentially inappropriate messages for review. Not now. Right, exactly. I can see your words. Mia, that's your dog, isn't it? Mia. Yeah. What did I say? Milchy. Don't be embarrassed. It's always good to get things off your chest. You're right, son. Yeah. But this is, I feel now, if you're still watching, so I feel I need to express something because I shouldn't be talking about that thing 2 years ago, but I've got to lay the foundation of that. So basically, I got off the phone with you, Liam, and that feeling was still there. And it's a real physical thing with people like me who've got depression. It's in there. It's like a potato. It's right in there, and it's poisonous. It's off. It's rotten. And generally, it'll go due to circumstances. Something will happen. Things will change, but it's always on its own accord. But I asked for help on this occasion anyway, and then you rang. That got me through a few moments. And then obviously I was still waiting to hear how Mia was. But the feeling was still there. And I knew I knew I was near the end of you know, I'm babbling here. So cut forward to what I did. I carried on asking for help. I said, look, I know you did something there. And look, if you do help me through this, I'm going to dote on you because you'll have saved my life. This is what I was saying to God. I was even looking up because I was in tears. I was an emotional wreck. I mean, you would be, wouldn't you? You know, I'd just lost my soulmate. And I just got this urge. I'd got a bike, a new bike, No, I hadn't got the bike then. What did I do? I'm gonna have to cut this bit out, not cut it out, edit it. I mean, I'm gonna have to jump ahead. Something happened there, and I will cover it if it comes back to me. I'm gonna cut ahead now to now. It was snowing about 2 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, and just before that, I'd just got over a bout of gastroenteritis. That leveled me for 4 days. I was stuck in for 4 days with that, and I needed to get out. I had the depression during that. It had come on for some reason. After that, it was raining, and I was still feeling a bit crappy. So I stayed there another 2 days. That was 6 days I'd been in the house. Then it started snowing, and I couldn't get out because of the snow. The paths were frozen solid, everything. And to get about, I needed my bike. I was too afraid to walk on the ice. I was stuck in another 4 days. I was in solid for about 8 days. Luckily I got a delivery from Mazda, and them 8 days put me into this deep, dark depression. Anybody who suffers from it will know what it's like when it gets really bad. And it was like open up a new book, new days of your life. This is the time when you're going to be super depressed. It was like a chapter. It felt like from when I had the illness, it was like a weird feeling of it was a new me from the beginning of the illness, a depressed me. Everything else before that didn't matter. Whatever this depression was inside me, it was making it feel like this was me. And it's going to get worse. And I remembered before that's how I felt as well. And I remembered I also got help. I asked for help, but I was so down, I didn't ask for help at first. And what I'm trying to say here is I did ask for help. It got to a point where I went out on the bike, the snow cleared. I went out on the bike and I rode up to the beach. I sat down on this bench and was watching the snow, watching the sea. And I was in tears. And I knew it was getting pretty bad again. And this was one of the irrational depressions that you get. People who know what I'm talking about will relate to this, like I say. It was one of the irrational things. I had no reason to feel like that. This was just a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, I'm still grieving a little bit. It's 2 years later. I'll always love my Cassie, but the grief has cleared a bit. This was just pure depression. I sat there at the beach, crying, not sobbing, not like for everybody to know I was doing it, like wiping my face and whatnot, and there was nobody to see me. And the past few days had led me up to thinking this is not going to clear on its own. It's not going. I'm out on the bike. That usually a bit of fresh air clears it. No, it wasn't going. I sat there on the bench and I said, under my breath, I said, look, I'm laying down in front of you here. I imagine myself and my face on the floor. I'm begging for help. I always feel like you're asking too much of God when I say it. I said, I'm begging for help. I've had this for 8 days. It's not going. I don't know what to do. I tried all sorts of things, I tried gaming. I tried, things like that. I tried watching movies, and it was all I couldn't do anything. It was making me immobile because the depression was so thick that I was stuck. I couldn't do things. I wasn't able to work on my hobbies. I wasn't able to work online and do things online. The depression was making me so poorly. The only thing I could do was just sit and stare into the void, if you know what I mean. So basically, I found myself at this beach, and this depression been going on. I tried all sorts. So I basically got my face on the floor, metaphorically. I remember the feeling. I thought to myself, I was exhausted emotionally, and I went, "You've got to help me. I'm begging you. You've got to help me." And I didn't do it with a tongue in the cheek type feeling that you do when you pray to yourself and you go, "Oh, I'll try praying." I was exhausted up here that I was basically crying out for help again. Found myself doing that. I was broken down. It broke me down, the depression, to a point where I had nowhere else to turn again. Sort of like the depression was like that sergeant major that you get shouting in the army films, and it breaks the soldier down until he can be built back up again. So please help me, I said. And then I remember the words in my head, I'm begging you. And I meant it. I didn't just say it hoping it would hit home somewhere. I meant it. And I sat there after I'd said it, and I felt sort of like a bit of a weight off my shoulders, but the feeling was still of the depression. And this is what happened. I was looking around, and I didn't. It was. I can remember the moment it happened. This clot of depression in my stomach was there. I begged God for help. It was basically an obsessive love of God that came out of me. Because I've read the Bible, and God is supposed to be there for us when we need it. He's supposed to help us. He's never supposed to let us take on too much if we ask for help. And I sat there on this bench thinking, it's probably not going to work. But I was thinking maybe it will later. And I remember this girl walking across the beach with her dog, or a woman, I think. I can't remember, a girl or a woman. And I looked at this dog, this dog. I looked at this woman with a dog. And I remember this is where it happened. I was watching her, and this feeling inside my stomach was, oh, isn't that dog beautiful? Oh, I might go for a walk now. Oh, I've got to go to the shop. What am I watching tonight? It had gone. You're listening to a bald man talking on the telly here, on YouTube, sorry. So you're going to probably think, this was a miracle again. It had gone. And it had gone it happened in such a way. I'm looking at the screen. So like this, and it had happened in such a way that it took me by surprise. It went like a button. It had gone. I hadn't forced it down. I hadn't ignored it. I hadn't done any of that. It had gone. It had been lifted. And I sat there, and this big smile. I remember the smile. I couldn't get rid of the smile. It just come on. And I thought, is this real? Is this real? Every time this happens to me, it's happened a few times now, because it's been 2 years and I've done it a few times. Every time this happens to me, when I ask for help and I get the help, I'm amazed. My lad probably thinks I'm going crackers, but you'll have to believe your dad. It's an amazing thing that happens when it happens to me. You've got to be like, I suppose, for it to stick out the way it has done to me, you've got to be on your own and things like I live. I mean, when there's distractions and things, sometimes, it is a miracle. Sometimes miracles just go past us and we don't notice them. I mean, it's a miracle we're here every day. It's a miracle we can see, we can breathe, but we take it for granted. It just goes past. There's miracles around us all the time. But because I knew fighting depression with all the different things I'd tried, give me experience with it, I knew it wouldn't lift. Until an unexpected thing would happen. Like I'd go through a few days where I had to go somewhere and travel out on the bus and do something different. It would break the depression because of something happens, and it would break it. But when I asked for this depression to be lifted, I'm telling you, within moments of me asking and me not noticing, and I remember watching the woman with the dog walking across the beach, and there was at some point in that time there, the depression in my stomach went gone, and I was left with happiness. the feeling of being normal, you know. I'm not going to do the quotes thing. The feeling of being normal, the way we should all be able to feel. I was given peace again. That people feel when they're all right in themselves, when they feel happy, when they feel okay, when they feel normal, they feel all right, they can get on with their day. And anybody watching this, if you're suffering from depression, I'm not saying convert or anything to Christianity. Don't forget, I'm talking about my experiences here. You may have your own ways of dealing with depression. You know, I mean, I'm on medication, and the medication, all it's done is made me need medication. You can't get off it. And it does have its effects. It does help me with certain things, but it's in no means a cure-all. But anyway, I asked for help. And when people say ask for help, and they'll say go to your doctors, blah blah blah. I asked God. For you, it may be you might, you've probably got family around you. Ask them for help. Who am I to judge? It might help you. It might get you through depression. What I'm trying to say is some mechanism happened with me that got me through the depression. It didn't give me a break. It didn't distract me. It broke the depression. I'm looking at the screen again now. It broke the depression. It got rid of it. And to this day, it's gone. And this is about 2 weeks ago. I know it's going to come back. It does. It comes back. And I'm learning. I'm learning what the triggers are. Whereas before, it was this, I was at the whim of this beast that's invisible, that could jump on me whenever it wants and get inside me. That was the way I felt about depression. And it was like that. It was like having a monster in the room with you. Sometimes it would leave you alone, but you knew it was there. So you're always anticipating it. You have a good day, you think to yourself, I've got no control over my life. At any moment, this creature thing, this depression is going to take over again. And it would. But I was able to live my life normally with Cassie. It was love, pure love. And anybody who's in love who's got depression knows that in itself, the love of a loving person around you gets you through the pain of it. I was able to deal with things, but I wasn't dealing with the root of why the depression came back later. I was able to just feel comfortable and cope. Now that Cassie's gone, and I've been having to fight within a hair of my life, because a lot of people will think, what is it you're fighting for? I'm fighting for my sanity. I'm fighting for, just waking up. Sometimes when I've got the depression, I don't want to get up, and I'm feeling like I'm getting closer to a way of dealing with it. I'm not saying this will always work. I've obviously contacted something that helps me. It helps me. And I think if you need help as well, anybody who watches this in the future, I haven't got many views on my videos, but if anybody watches this by chance looking for a solution to their depression, try it. Who's going to judge you if you go into a room on your own? If you tried everything else, if your family are trying their hardest to help you, but it's making you feel worse because you felt that, you've probably felt that before when people are trying to make you laugh when you're down. What does that make you feel like? Worse, isn't it? If you got depression, or if people try and sweep it under the carpet, that mentality. Oh, stop it! You'll be all right. What are you going to be depressed about? That's the thing when people try and make out that there's nothing wrong with you. So it may help some people that, but if you have got the illness, as you know, all the goodwill and all the advice and all the people around you don't take out this this depression ball that's in your stomach. They don't get rid of it. You think it's going. You think, I'm surrounded by people who love me. What have I got to be depressed about? And it lifts you a bit. But if you are suffering from that chemical depression, it just keeps coming back. Keeps coming back. Moments go by, you feel all right, and it's there again. It's like having it strapped onto you or into your stomach, like I'm saying. It is literally in my stomach, but it's there. So if you're suffering from it, and somebody might watch it one day and think and be on the verge of, suicidal thoughts, please don't. Go and spend some time, even though it's scary, spend some time on your own. Talk to the wall. Do whatever it needs, but get in there. Get in there and work on it. Ask for help. I'm not saying you're asking God. That, for me, that was what happened. But maybe you want to look at it as talking and asking for help is a way of sort of mental surgery on your own emotional state. Maybe that's what works for you, and do that. Don't think you can beat the depression. Know it. Know it. And say, I'm going to ask for help. I'm asking my inner self for help. And go for it. If it's not working, comment on here and I will help you. I promise, because I know what you're going through. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. This is after. I mean, I didn't tell you what happened afterwards. I felt so great. The plan was to go to the beach, and basically I was desperate, hoping something would happen. And after I got rid of it, after the depression went, I stood up with my bike there. I'm looking around me. I was almost looking for it, thinking, where have you gone? I'd spent like nearly 2 weeks in utter depression. I wasn't telling anybody on Facebook because I mean, my son's there. Yeah, I know. But I mean, I don't want to bog him down with this. I can't help it if he's watching now. I can't help it if you're watching now, son. I'm really sorry about this, but I need to talk about this because not for me, not for myself. I'm trying to explain. If obviously you don't, thank Christ that you don't suffer from this, but other people do, and I feel obliged to put out this thing that's happened to me, this way I deal with it, because I live on my own here. Through choice. I know it's my own choice. I know I could move closer right now. I know I could, but because I live here on my own, and because I'm overweight. I mean, I've lost 7 stone, by the way. Yeah, it's got an extra 2 stone. I was 28 stone. So because I'm overweight and because I'm sometimes afraid of going out, I can't walk far. The depression for me is, obviously brought on by all that. And also the things that happened when I was younger, like, and it's in the family. It's not on your side because, way before I was 22, your age, Liam, I was feeling it. So, and I know you don't feel like this. I know you haven't felt this low like that. So that's amazing. But basically, I've gone off track now. I don't know what I was talking about. I'm saying that if other people tune in to this YouTube channel, watch this YouTube channel in the future, and they come across it because they've typed in something to do with depression, just go into a room and deal with it. Nobody told me what to do. It came to me because I was begging for help. And the miracle took place. And I'm sure it'll happen again. and again. And I now know I've got this ability, or I've got this option. If it's not me who's doing it, if if it is God doing this and helping me, which I know it is, but I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt to people who go, oh, there's no God and blah, 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 and whatnot. But I now know I've got this option. You don't know how amazing that feeling is, to know that the depression monster isn't fully in control. I mean, I feel great. I feel like I can do things. I mean, another thing about depression, just before I end the video, as people all know who suffer from depression, it changes the way things look. Your home becomes a prison. Whereas now it's become my home again. My pet became annoying. This annoying furry animal. There was nothing that I liked about her because I was depressed. I knew it. I wasn't acting on any of this. I knew I loved my cat, but it was just the depression makes me not question that, because I'm old enough to know the difference, but it made me uncomfortable, her meowing or wanting her food, things like that. I was like, oh, I could do without that. The sunlight outside when it came wasn't doing anything for me. The room seemed darker. Everything seemed quieter. I seemed to be in this black and white void around me. That's gone. I've never managed to get rid of any of this without an accidental thing happening that I could never tell anybody what it was. You just know it will eventually happen. I mean, you can track it, can't you? But you don't know what it is that caused it. You can track it to that. You can sort of say, this is the day the depression went. I went shopping. We had a laugh, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I know. That's the cat. Yeah. Shut up. Yeah. Oh, cat. Come on then. Sounds like I'm annoyed. I'm not. I'm trying to talk. But it is. But I've said what I needed to say. Don't take this video lightly. I'm talking about something that really worked for me. If you do find yourself suffering from depression, right? And you've tried everything else, try things, things that may work for you. Try all them. But if you find yourself at that end of the road feeling, I've tried it all, what do I do next? And then you panic, don't you? You sort of go, anybody who's been here, you panic, you go, there's nothing. I'm not hungry. See, that's why I eat a lot, because of the depression. I'm not hungry. I'm not thirsty. I don't want to watch the TV because that was making me down. I didn't want to do anything with the PC because that was making me down. I didn't want to work on my stuff I do online. That was making me feel down. I couldn't get out because of the snow. I was feeling physically sick because I was getting over that virus. Sounds like I'm going on, I know, but I'm trying to lay the ground a bit. I'd done everything. And I was feeling like that encroaching knowledge of the only option left when I get to a certain point is to clock out, end it. And that's, my granddad tried to commit suicide. He tried to do it and he was stopped. He put something around his neck, and then he had to go through hospital and everything, which even degraded him further. It did no good for him. But that's what led to him and my grandma just sort of, it was a decline for them then. They weren't long, and my grandma drunk herself to death because she was watching my granddad, and my granddad just sat in a chair doing what I would have done if I didn't get the help. But like I say, I can't stress this enough. Because I got the help that I needed, I was able to get out the chair and go out and want to go out and want to do things. Whereas you'll force yourself as one of these last attempts to do things, but the gut feeling of depression is going like, like this. It's twisting. It's like somebody inside trying to stop you from enjoying yourself, trying to stop you from getting on with life. They want you to fail. They want you to do wrong to yourself. They want you to do all that. It wants you to do all that. Whatever it is, it's as real. It's as real as my bald head. The feeling of depression is as real as that. But I got rid of it. I beat it. And I did it within moments of asking for help when I was on the beach. The environment, the moment was right. I know I can't put it into words. I know that the certain things were there. I know that the environment was right. I was at that place. I was watching the sea. I was hitting rock bottom. That's the word, isn't it? Rock bottom. I'd hit rock bottom. And so when I begged for help, I meant it. So I meant it. So I was crying out for help. And the words, the feeling of crying out for help was real, was authentic. I wasn't copying what somebody else told me to do. I hadn't gone to the beach on somebody else's advice. I was there and I was crying out for help. If I would have had to have gone home that day without getting rid of that feeling, I don't know where I would be now. I'm not saying I would have killed myself. What I'm saying is it gets so bad that, I never put this on anybody else. I never do. If somebody did want to help, I'd say, no, you're all right. I'll deal with this myself, because they can't help. They can't help with that inner thing. But I hide it when I'm around people. People won't know. I'm quite good at that. If Liam's still watching, he's been down here when I've been depressed, and I'll ignore it, and I'll enjoy myself with him, and I play computer games with him and whatnot, and we watch the TV and stuff, and I push it to the side because I know this is my time with my son, and I don't let it beat me. I don't get rid of it either. I'm not curing myself of it. It's there until I get time to deal with it. But dealing with it is so important. And I'm not going to knock medication, but if you're at that stage where you're thinking about medication, please try this. Go in a place on your own, find a little space on your own. You probably find that you're probably in a busy environment, your job, your home life. Find that space, even if it's on the toilet. Make sure you can feel safe. I knew nobody was going to interrupt me. There's nobody here for me here. My son's on the internet, everything. I didn't have my computer out. So I knew nobody was going to disturb me. So I got that 5 minutes to be able to ask for help. You've got to find that time. A lot of people have kids and whatnot around them. Find the time. Go into a room on your own. And if they're bursting in, you've got to find somewhere else, because you're not going to be able to get deep in there and work on the problem. But anyway, I've covered all this over and over again, haven't I? So comment if you need help. I know there's a few people on YouTube who are suffering depression, some young people. I've seen them. I can't think of their names. Isaac, one guy on YouTube called Isaac. He's suffering depression. He's doing all the wrong things. And I'm not going to say in my opinion. I know he's doing all the wrong things. He's saying nasty remarks about people he thinks are the ones who are causing him pain. He's depressed. I can see it. He's saying that it's people making him feel like this. His time at school, he's left school now. He's saying that school was horrible for him, which it may have been. I didn't like school, but that's not the reason he's feeling like he is now. He's suffering from something. It's an illness. And to get the cure, you've got to find it. You've got to find it. Like I say, it's not properly a cure, this, but it feels like it when it comes on you, when you can get rid of the depression that you're going through. You know, because I know it will be back, as sure as eggs is eggs. I know it will be back, but I also know now I've got a way of fighting. You don't know how important that is to feel like that. So anyway, I'm going to cut this off now because my lads probably rang up section 12 of the hospital to come and get me, the white coat men. I'm just being open. This is probably a side you haven't seen, Liam. I'm sorry if I really got on crackers, but I'm just getting it out there. I don't even know if he's watching anymore. Anyway, right. Thank you. I'm going to call this a day. Right, in stream. Oh, I'm so glad YouTube's brought this. YouTube's just brought the capability of streaming like Facebook has. Now it's good to get it out. Oh, he's still there. Oh, brilliant. Sorry about that, son, about babbling on, but it's not. I'm not. It's not about me getting it out. I'm actually trying to help people because you know if you type depression into YouTube, have a look at that. The amount of young'uns, you know, young people who should be, you know, it's upsetting. They should be really, really happy, and they're not. They're depressed. A lot of people out there, like teenagers, young 20-odds and that lot, the ones who are suffering from depression. That's the thing with depression. They don't want help. You have to force it on them. Yeah. I know what you're saying there. Yeah, they don't want help. Yeah. I think they want help, but I know what you're saying. They think that there's no way of getting help. Is that what you mean? I think they want help, but yeah, here we go. Because they believe nobody can help. Yeah. Because what my experience, what I was talking about, helped me. Like I'm trying to say, I'm not Bible bashing people. It helped me, and it saved my life, son. You saved my life, and also this saved my life. What I've been talking about. But young'uns out there might have a circle of people around them that can actually help. And to them, if anybody's watching, ask for help. It may work for you, you know. I sound like a robot. It may work for you. It may do. You know, it might not be depression. It might be just a very, very low period of time with my face. So, yeah, thank you for watching, son, all the way through. I'm acting strange now doing this. Right, I'm going to get off. We're going to get on gaming later or something. I know this lass who is in a really bad relationship, but she won't accept the help I'm giving her. Yes, I know who you're talking about. And she's got to get help because that will lead to depression as well. You can bring it on through this sort of thing. Feeling like you're up against a brick wall every day teaches you a habit of becoming depressed. Yeah, you're right. But don't you break yourself trying to help people. Because if anybody sees this, my son is one of the most helpful people I know. And I'm not just saying this because he's online or he's my son. It's true. It helps everybody to the point where he's going to wear himself out. I'm sorry, I know you're watching, but you're going to wear yourself out, son. You can only do so much for people. You know, Simone's lovely and she's there for you and everything. I know that. But what I'm getting at is don't burn yourself out. I'm the best I know. See what? Yeah, you are. Anyway, this is live on YouTube. I've got to cut this off now because it's getting weird, isn't it? But let's keep chatting on. I'll get on Facebook. Yeah, right. I'll say bye to anybody who watches this. And it's good, this YouTube thing, Liam. You know, at the top next to the search bar on the top right, you've got like a little camera. Yeah, it takes your camcorder, your what's it? You don't have to use OBS. That's what I'm getting at. It's now got software built into the web page. It works for this camera I've got, so it might work for every camera. I don't know. Right, I'm getting off. Okay. See you in a bit. All right. Bye. Oh, press right click. End.